You spent 30 years working, 30 years of early mornings, tight budgets, delayed holidays, saying not yet to things you actually wanted. And then finally, the day comes. You retire. And within 2 years, the numbers stop making sense. Not because you spent too much, not because you were careless, but because of something nobody ever told you about. Something as simple and as brutal as the month you chose to stop working. Here is what most retirement advice looks like. Save enough. Invest wisely. Retire comfortably. Clean. Simple. Completely incomplete. Because that advice treats retirement like a finish line. Like once you cross it, the race is over, and everything just settles. But that is not how money works in real life. In real life, the moment you stop earning is the moment you become vulnerable to something most financial planners barely mention in the first meeting. It is called sequence of returns risk. And it does not care how hard you worked. It does not care how disciplined you were. It only cares about when you stopped. Let me show you what this actually looks like. Two people. Call them Thomas and Marie. Same country. Same industry. Same salary for most of their careers. Both save consistently. Both hit their target number. Both decided. It is time. Thomas retires in February. The markets that year are unstable. Nothing catastrophic. Just rough. The kind of rough that headlines describe as a correction. But Thomas is now withdrawing money every single month to cover his living costs. Rent, food, utilities, the basics. And every time he withdraws, he is selling investments at a low price. Those shares leave his portfolio. And when the market eventually recovers, those shares are not his anymore. He already spent them. Marie retires 11 months later. January of the next year. The markets by then have stabilized. Her first 2 years of retirement are actually decent. Her portfolio holds. She withdraws less than she expected. By year 7, Thomas and Marie have a gap in their net worth. A gap that neither of them planned for. Not because of anything either of them did wrong, just because of when they left. That is not a small detail. That is the difference between a comfortable retirement and a retirement where you are quietly doing the math every Sunday evening. But the timing trap goes deeper than just markets. Let us talk about pensions for a moment. In many European countries, France, Germany, the Netherlands, Belgium, your pension benefit is not just based on how long you worked. It is calculated against a specific reference period, a window. Retire 1 month outside that window, and you could permanently reduce your monthly income. Not temporarily, permanently, for the rest of your life. Some systems also apply cost of living adjustments on a fixed annual date. Miss that date by 30 days, and you wait another full year for the increase. Over 20 years of retirement, that delay compounds into a number that would genuinely surprise you. Then there is tax. In most European tax systems, your final working year and your first retirement year can overlap in ways that create an unexpected income spike. A spike that pushes you, briefly, into a higher tax bracket. You will not live in that bracket, but you will pay as if you did for that 1 year, which on a fixed income is more painful than it sounds. And healthcare, depending on your country, the month your employment ends determines when your coverage stops. In some systems there is a gap. A short one, but a gap is a gap. And if something goes wrong during that window, the cost lands entirely on you. Here is the part that nobody in finance talks about. We are not rational about retirement. After decades of deferring your own happiness, telling yourself later, when I retire, the psychological pull to just go is enormous. You are tired. Maybe your body is starting to show the years. Maybe your workplace changed, and it no longer feels like yours. Maybe you just watched a colleague retire, and something in you said, enough. And in that moment, who is thinking about calendar windows and market cycles? Nobody. Almost nobody. Which is exactly how the timing trap works. It does not catch careless people. Catches exhausted people. People who did everything right and just wanted it to be over. That is not a personal failure. That is a system that never fully explained itself to you. So what actually matters here? Not panic, not obsession over perfect timing, just awareness, knowing that the final decision, the when, deserves the same attention you gave to the how much and the where to invest. One conversation with the right advisor, one look at your pension calculation dates, one check of how your country handles that transition window. That is often all it takes to shift the outcome meaningfully. 30 years of work, 30 years of discipline. The last decision should get at least one afternoon of serious thought. We talk a lot about building toward retirement. We almost never talk about the landing. And sometimes, the landing is everything. So here's what I want to leave you with. If a single month can quietly reshape 20 years of financial stability, what else are we treating as a small detail that actually is not? Think about someone in your life who is getting close to this decision. Share this with them, not because the system is broken, but because they deserve to know how it actually works before they step away from it.